Diddy has recently experienced a nervous breakdown after being attacked in prison and is allegedly being targeted due to his dirty behavior towards others. Reports from the Daily Mail suggest that powerful people in Hollywood and the music industry are trying to silence Diddy because they are scared of what he might say. A close friend of Diddy said spending the holidays behind bars was a nightmare for him, and he eventually managed to calm himself down with the meditation technique he's been using while he's been behind bars. Another incident occurred when Diddy was on suicide watch, which is supervisory precautions taken for suicidal inmates that require frequent observation. Diddy's suicide watch was temporary, and he was housed in a special protective unit of the jail. Now, Diddy is in general population, where most inmates stay. Jennifer Lopez, a witness and co-conspirator in the case against Diddy, has been named as a witness and co-conspirator. A new lawsuit has been filed, alleging that J-Lo was involved in the cover-up of a case. The victim claims that J-Lo knew about Diddy's crime and even showed her his tapes back when they dated in the late 90s. J-Lo will have to testify against Diddy, and Cardello Smith's filing suggests that Jennifer Lynn Lopez, also known as J-Lo or Jenny from the Block, will be called as a material witness and expert to Sean Combs' viewing, possession, and distribution of his sexual assault on the plaintiff in 1997. The plaintiff states that J-Lo was engaged in a relationship with the defendant during 1999 and 2001, and that the sexual assault of the plaintiff was recorded, distributed, and held by the defendant at his New York residence and recording studio. Cardello Smith wants to call Officer Derek Palmer as a witness because he believes he will have testimony that could help his case. Diddy's legal team has called for the entire case to be thrown out, and Cardello Smith has filed a massive response to that request, which includes more than 200 pages of law that seems to support his argument. Cardello Smith, a former drug dealer, has been facing allegations of rape and threats against his family. He argues that fear for his own safety and the safety of his family should override any issue with the statute of limitations that might be time-barred. He also argues that while in prison, fellow inmates and prison guards have threatened him on behalf of Sean Combs, and billionaires like J-Lo, Jay-Z, and Beyonce are worried about how this case might affect them. Rumours are starting to surface that Diddy might be suicidal, and rumours are starting to spread. Diddy's lifestyle and accomplishment may make it difficult for him to spend years behind bars, and if people think he is cooperating with the feds, they might come after him. Diddy's team offered to pay over $50 million and even offered Diddy's passport to the court so he could get bail, but the judge said no. According to the judge, Diddy has a history of threatening victims, and if he is allowed to go outside, there's a big chance that he might hurt the witnesses. The proposed bail package includes a $50 million bond, co-signed by Diddy, his mother, sister, mother of his oldest daughter, and 3 adult sons, secured by the equity in his property in Miami, Florida, home detention, and his passport surrendered. The government said that was insufficient, as Diddy has a history of threatening victims, and if he is allowed to go outside, there's a big chance that he might hurt the witnesses. The judge believes that Diddy's counsel has done the best they possibly can to bring him to trial voluntarily, but the interfering with witnesses and the lack of evidence against him might tip the scales in favour of not letting him out pending trial. Diddy's attorney, Mark Anapo, has already said in a press conference that they will try for bail again, hinting at the fact that this jail isn't safe for Diddy. In conclusion, Cardello Smith's case against Diddy is a complex one, with rumours and potential legal issues surrounding his life and the potential impact on his family and the government. Diddy, a notorious drug lord, is facing a complex legal battle with the government. His case has been a subject of intense debate and legal battle, with some believing that he might be about to get bail soon. The government has provided Diddy with numerous electronic devices to help him move his case forward, but the defendant's timetable is different. The government's timetable is more focused on the defendant, and they must accommodate Diddy and his lawyers for a quick trial. Diddy's attorney, Mr. Combs, is determined to fight the case with all their might until it is no longer necessary. He believes that Diddy is innocent and is pushing for bail, even though he is best friends with New York Mayor Eric Adams. Just a month before his arrest, Diddy was given the key to the city, which may have been given to him to rehabilitate his reputation. The prosecutor presented evidence that Diddy might be released if he comes up with more hearing. However, the evidence suggests that Diddy is trying to get witnesses and connections to his past, including Cassie, a woman he had a relationship with. When his friends went away, Diddy offered him $50 million in bail, but the FBI denied this offer. This is part of a larger conspiracy, with the FBI allegedly using Diddy to get access to other powerful criminals. Diddy has already been denied bail 3 times so far, and now they are making it look like Diddy is scared and ready to testify. This is a ploy to catch a bigger, more powerful fish, and Diddy might get bail. The FBI has used impromptu searches to get Diddy's information back, as seen in one case where they took some of his legal information and ordered them to give it back. The lawyers are now working to bring Diddy out of jail and bring the case to trial through additional legal processes. In conclusion, Diddy's case is a complex and contentious one, with the government's efforts to pressure him into a plea deal and the FBI's attempts to use his situation to gain access to more powerful criminals. The case of P. Diddy, a notorious musician, has been a contentious issue in the music industry. His lawyers have been accused of constantly searching him, taking his legal brief, and potentially using his information against him. This has led to allegations that Diddy was using other inmates' phone cards, which is a common practice among inmates. The judge is now expected to investigate these allegations further. In a recent episode of the PBS podcast, Fox News host Jesse Waters revealed that Diddy was being prepared to take the fall. It is important to remember that Diddy was connected to some of the biggest people in the country, including aspiring young artists in the music industry and celebrities sponsored by M-Town Records CEO, Universal Records CEO. These parties were in compromising situations, with the drinks being laced, the videotapes being hot, and the next morning, Diddy could be exposed for what he did. Diddy has been accused of being an FBI informant, feeding information to the feds. This has led to speculation that he may be a snitch, feeding information to the FBI. People magazine has reported that Diddy is on suicide watch due to the threats on his life. A source on the inside has told People magazine that Diddy is on suicide watch, as he thought he would have gone home. Diddy has been on suicide watch since the first night he was there, and he has been visited by a shrink several times a day. There is talk about putting inmates in a bubble-like cell with a plexiglass wall in it, where they are monitored by inmates. This is part of their job to keep an eye on inmates on suicide watch. Another error in the story is that some wardens have told that there are sentenced inmates called cadre inmates who are doing maintenance on the building, which has led to a lot of violence there. The judge is expected to revisit the procedures next week to determine the outcome of the case. The case of Shah Diddy Combs, a notorious musician and rapist, has been a contentious issue. Diddy is locked up in a housing unit due to the fear of being taken out by people who know he will never get out. Some people believe that Diddy can help them, but his case is likely to take at least 3 years to litigate. He is currently in MDC, and there are rumours that he wants to go to Essex County Jail in New Jersey because he doesn't like MDC. The federal government has everything they need to charge Diddy, and they have confiscated video evidence of his crimes when they raped his mansion. Victims are now starting to testify against him, and attorney Ariel Mitchell-Kidd has been informed about the existence of these tapes and even been offered the opportunity to buy one. These tapes reportedly include footage of A-list celebrities engaging in intimate acts with drugged minors at Diddy's parties. As the case continues, many clients are apprehensive about their safety if Diddy is granted bail. Attorney Ariel believes that the court will remain with their previous decision of no bond, and that all victims in this case will be able to proceed sooner rather than later. Tensions have been made against Diddy's client, with some receiving death threats and others receiving death threats from people on the internet. The investigation leads to a lot of burner accounts on Instagram, and lawyers are working with law enforcement to try to get subpoenas to determine the IP addresses of where those threats were emanating. Several of Diddy's victims have also come forward, with one such victim, Talia Graves, filing a federal lawsuit against him and his former bodyguard, Joseph Sherman. Graves alleges that in 2001 she was drugged and sexually assaulted by Diddy and Sherman. Another victim, Reka Letten-Mia, is from Harris County, and has filed a lawsuit against Cum. In conclusion, the ongoing legal battle between Diddy and his victim is a complex and contentious issue. Attorneys and victims are working tirelessly to protect their rights and ensure justice for all involved. In a lawsuit filed by former rapper Tanya Graves, she alleges that she was lured into a meeting at a New York City recording studio by her head of security when she was 25 years old. Graves claims that she was bound and restrained and was violently raped by Combs. The lawsuit also claims that the alleged assault was recorded and shown to multiple other men. Graves also faces multiple threats that made her stay silent for decades. 54-year-old Combs is in jail, facing federal charges including sex, trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution. He was denied bail twice after pleading not guilty. Big Joe, the head of security, has denied Graves's allegations, calling them just a quote. Tanya Wallace, another woman who claims to have witnessed children at a party hosted by Diddy, claims that she was flown out from LA to Miami by the Saudi prince and ended up on Star Island at one of Diddy's parties. She describes seeing a cluster of adults around little people dressed up as Japanese Barbies at the party. Wallace explains that they were just little people who should not be at an adult party. The case is shaping up to be one of the most explosive and shocking stories in recent history, with allegations involving some of the most powerful figures in Hollywood politics and music. It is clear that there is much more at play than what meets the eye. Tanya Wallace has been at a freak-off and has seen children, including at least 4 celebrities, at a party. She has also heard about a porn directed by Diddy himself and a male sex worker who walks through his experiences. The tapes describe the threesome, which are believed to be what the feds are looking at right now in terms of alleged sex trafficking. The man who got a subpoena and left the tape with prosecutors has been questioned by the media. The case raises questions about whether Diddy will make it out alive, or if this is a dangerous game of power and secrets that might silence him forever.